This here be getting all caught up in his beard.
That's why I went with a short bob.
Is that what his name is?
Oh.
Hey, community. It's AunTea Tequila. And here's what's brewing today.
Introducing AunTea Tequila.
Ask your aunties, the bottom dollar.
And roommate dysfunction. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report.
Oh, that was cute. All four of us at the same time. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey.
Yes. Hey,
Dave.
community. Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening, because we know you're still
True.
stuck in the crib.
Some of y'all on CP time, so you know you didn't get up until about like 11 p.m. It's probably noon.
Right.
You're probably eating your bowl of Frosted Flakes right now. You know.
That's true, because I'll be literally waking up right before I need to hop on. Like if I have like a 9 o'clock call in the morning, it's probably like 8:43. Let me go and try to brush my teeth, maybe. Right to sleep up my eye. That's a Biggie reference. And then hop on that damn call. Like I'm like in the bed right to the last minute.
I'm still getting up at my regular time.
Really?
Basically between 6 and 6:30 every day. I know. It's a wrap. Like I get up and it's like, okay, well, I can't go back to, I know I can't go back to sleep. So it's like, okay, well, I might as well just get it moving. So
you sound tired today. You got a little gravel in your voice there, girl.
I tried to take a nap right before, because this is the first time in 6 weeks that I've tried to take a nap. So
and it didn't work. Did you get a good one or no?
No, it takes me a good 45 minutes just to fall asleep.
Damn.
So for a nap, it's a wrap. You know?
You might just go to bed. I can't nap. See, for me, I have certain windows. Like if I take a nap, like after like 4 o'clock, the rest of my evening's screwed. Like my energy is off. Yeah. Like I can't wake up for nothing. And I find myself irritated and angry. Nope. Anything after 4 o'clock.
You irritated and angry? No, girl. Go figure.
I mean, loud maybe, but she don't get mad. She just get loud.
That is true.
I don't know about that.
I be passionate.
I've seen a little bit of mad.
Passionate. I don't get mad. I just get loud.
I don't remember loud being an emotion.
She went to Baltimore.
You know at first.
She said I didn't know loud was an emotion. And if you guys
Who
are wondering,
invited her?
Right? If you're wondering whose voice that is, we have a guest this week. Community.
Yes.
Hey, community.
We have. What's your auntie name first? We'll say that.
AunTea Tequila.
Okay, now.
Yes.
There we go.
I can't do tequila.
Look,
tequila is my drink all day long.
Really?
I can only do tequila on Fridays because I know the next day she gonna be hurting. So look, she can't ruin the whole weekend. She just
Panama City Beach, freshman year in college, fake ID and all. Had too many like margarita and tequila shots and everything, and still to this day, my body's like, "Bitch, what are you doing drinking tequila?" Like,
but meanwhile, what was the cocktail of choice at your wedding?
Well, that was in Mexico. And I literally.
So now
when in Mexico.
Now it's an international.
You know about
issue.
these loopholes, Dawon. We know about these loopholes,
Right,
okay?
exactly.
Because I wanted vodka.
I can't do tequila.
No,
I haven't had
vodka
tequila.
shot.
I haven't seen tequila. I can't even spell tequila since I was in the 7th grade.
I
What
really
did you have
can't.
last week? Girl, tequila.
I wanted vodka, but I was like, okay, people aren't going to do like vodka shots. And so we're like,
true.
Like,
Yeah.
people probably would have been like, you in Mexico and we doing vodka shots? So we're like, okay, we got to do tequila shots.
Wasn't nobody thinking about what kind of alcohol you were serving. It was Mexico. Like,
That is true.
And it was an all-inclusive. So like on top, like you could get whatever you wanted. So it was just
That's
like,
true too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like tequila gets the party started.
Ugh.
And
gets
get
me
some people
heartburn.
hurt.
It make my stomach hurt.
There's this bar in Minneapolis called the Gay 90s, and my favorite bartender, one of my good friends, Brandon, works. He's a bartender there. Hey, Brandon Cooper, I know you be listening. So he makes these specialty drinks called Pink Fridays, and it's
After
literally
Nicki
like
Minaj?
Yes, that's what we named them. We named them after Pink Fridays, and it's like pink kinky and another type of like little mixer, and then fucking Patron. Girl,
sounds like my type of drink.
Have your wig on sideways, and I think it's one of it's like it tastes almost like a pink lemonade. You remember like those Fruitopias back in the day? You know, at the pink.
Damn.
Yes,
the kiwi strawberry was weird.
Yes, girl, that was a shit. It reminds me of something like that, so it's really sweet. But then all of a sudden it kicks your ass, girl. No, ma'am.
But AunTea Tequila,
yes,
real name is Jerell. So for this
Yes.
episode, so we don't get everybody confused, because we're going to get ourselves confused, we're going to have Jerell, who is the guest, and then we're going to have Auntie Hennessy. So y'all already know who Hennessy is. So Jerell, tell us about stuff. Where you at? Where are you living right now?
Well, right now I'm in Dallas.
Okay,
I told them that.
Texas.
You did.
Texas.
You told them where I lived, where I was moving to. My first name, both my last name.
Community, I forget what episode that was. This was probably like 30 episodes ago. And
I'm just glad you let me keep my Social Security.
Right?
You're welcome. You know, some people gotta have,
like,
you gotta have something in
government. And he was like, well, I didn't say her last name was Owens Robinson. And we're like, just gave it all the way out. But yes, we part of our plan this year was to have more guests, more friends, etc. on the episodes. And so we figured, hey, you know what? She won the Halloween costume contest.
Yes,
so
she
we're
did.
like, you know what?
She did.
We should get her on. That's part of the prize too. Get her on here first. But also we kind of utilized her as a guinea pig. To see.
It's not like I was doing anything else.
You know, we're all up in quarantine, so it is what it is. Just to make sure that things go a little smooth once we have more guests on and everything like that. And then another thing we wanted her on is because professional life, you're in the cheer world. And so we know that cheer documentary was huge this year. And you actually know a lot of the people in the documentary.
I do.
Okay.
Did you meet, if not all of them.
Meet some of these people?
So one of the main characters.
Of the world?
I mean, the cheer world is so small, but one of the main characters, Jerry, who's from Illinois.
Jerry's the Matt talking one, right?
Yeah, the Matt talking one. So I've known Jerry since he was probably 11 or 12.
Wow.
Because he cheered at the gym that I coached at. So that was fun. And then being down in Dallas right now, the school that they followed is about an hour and a half south of Dallas. Mm-hmm. But a lot of those athletes cheer at the same gym that I cheer at now, Cheer Athletics, which is located in Plano. Okay. And so we practice all the same nights, go to the same competitions, see each other 5-6 times a week.
Yeah. So why were you in the documentary? Where were you at, girl? You ain't making a little...
The documentary was shot in the 2018-2019 season, and I was still in Tampa.
Okay, gotcha.
So I moved to Dallas right before everything came out and everything exploded.
Right.
She moved out there to hang out with her girlfriend Carol. Down there with them tigers.
Down in Tampa.
Oh wait, no. So funny story. When I was living in Tampa, to get to the gym that I used to work at, I would have to drive past Big Cat Rescue every day on my way to work.
Really?
Have you been to it? Have you gone?
I have not. We were supposed to do a team bonding event, and it got rained out.
Ain't nothing like bonding like getting
But the next time I go to
tigers.
Tampa, I plan on going.
Getting all them tigers chasing you.
I will say, and I think we talked about this, Kerel. The part in the documentary when they were like, she was just taking a stroll at night on Nebraska Avenue.
Yes.
She was not. She was hooking.
She was hooking.
If you are from Tampa, live in Tampa, know anything about Tampa, don't nobody walk or stroll on Nebraska Avenue unless you are a hooker.
But the whole situation and the whole like way she quote unquote described that she met him was all the way messed up. Because she said that she was walking. Well, she said she was walking down the street and then he pulled up and he looked like he was crying or whatever.
Was a hooker. Don't you pull up to hookers?
And then she said she got in the pickup truck And then randomly she just busted out and said, but he told me that he has a gun, but he won't use it on me. So he let me hold the gun while we drove around and talked.
Right.
That was
what
her
kind of gun we talking about.
He said, pew, 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 for real.
Private dancer. Dancer for money.
Baby, she's a lady of the night.
Okay. She's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, man. But yeah, so welcome, Jerell, AunTea Tequila. So,
well, thank you for having me.
welcome.
I'm excited to be here.
Definitely.
How'd you get into cheer, by the way?
Yeah.
Well, growing up, my mom and aunts were all gymnasts. And so I didn't want to do gymnastics. So they put me in tumbling when I was probably 8 or 9. And then I went to ICE, which is where Jerry is from, and started cheer.
Is that
when
ICE
I was
that's in like
Mishawaka?
Mishawaka? Yeah. Okay.
So ICE has 6 locations. There's one in Pittsburgh, but the original one is the one in Mishawaka where they had the workout facility.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 in Illinois, one in Barrington, one in Aurora, and the Aurora location is the one that Jerry cheered at.
Okay.
And so when I was in college, I was driving from Fort Wayne, Indiana, to coach 2 nights a week in Aurora when we first took it over in 2011, which is a 3.5-hour drive each way.
You were up and down that toll road.
Damn.
Which is why, somebody didn't finish school in 4 years and it took 6.5, but we finished.
It is what it is.
That's okay. That's
so,
all right.
So you went to ICE and you started tumbling with cheer there, or they had tumbling classes and you just happened
I started tumbling there. I didn't start cheering at ICE until my freshman year of college.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then it just
I was at another program that was closer to my house.
Okay.
That's where I cheered throughout like my high school years. So
Mishawaka, Indiana, like I know this because I lived there right out of college. So that's why I'm like, oh, ICE from there?
Yes.
It's not the most diverse location on earth.
No, not at all.
So were you the
not
only
at all.
black person? Black person?
No, I was
the only black
I was
guy?
not the only black person. It was me and my 2 cousins at the time.
The whole family. So you had instant backup.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
You don't go by yourself.
Okay. No, it's funny. So like Jerell and I are both from Indiana. We both named Jerell. Fun fact. Also, I have a year of cheer under my belt as well.
Do you really? This has never come up.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I didn't do competition cheer.
Okay.
I did cheerleading in high school.
Okay.
I did it my senior year. I did 2 sports. I did diving, swimming, diving, and cheerleading at the same time. And the only reason was because of my mother's children. I'm the only one who can tumble. And I would be the only one that can actually cheer and be on a varsity level like she was, because that was her sport growing up.
Okay.
So I did it to, play homage to my mom and be like, at least you'll have one child who, kind of followed it as something in your footsteps.
Dawon.
She's trying to secure them coins for
right.
that will.
So Dawon, remember when we were talking about cheer a few episodes ago?
Yeah.
And we were calling Auntie Hennessy, Ladarius, and everything.
Yes.
Why didn't she bring this up? We would have definitely called you out.
Because Ladarius. I didn't want that. Because everyone was already texting me and tagging me. I was not going to say it. Yes. I was not 100%. Going to say that then. Because
she was already getting that smoke even before the whole
beforehand.
No, like you and Ladarius are pretty much the same person.
I will have to post
Ladarius's Twitter and watch how he snaps on, like, so in the cheer world, I mean, I guess in every world, we have what's called cheer-anons. So it's people behind the keyboard who like to type out messages but don't want to give their real name, show their real face. Don't let them come for Ladarius's team, one of Ladarius's friends. He is on Twitter popping off every chance he gets, and we are sitting here living for it. He will not let you get away with the drama.
So, like,
yes.
what you see on the documentary, how realistic is the world? Well, let me even back up from that. How realistic are they? Like, are they, since you know Jerry and Ladarius, and what was the coach that you know as well that was on the team?
So Andy Cosfront, who is one of the assistant coaches, is my boss currently. Like, I moved to Dallas to work for his choreography company.
Okay.
And he's the assistant coach. And then the second assistant coach also works for the same choreography company, but we are on the same team, Capenna.
Okay. Yes. Capenna. Yes.
Capenna.
Yeah. So
that's
how realistic are they? Like, did the documentary capture their essence?
What you see on the documentary is what you get in real life. Like,
got it.
That is them. Like, there are no games. Like, they are not playing it up for the camera. Like, that is them.
And then, so is the world, like, did you feel like they captured that world well? Like, did you feel like, whoa, okay, yep, I know that. I know the struggles of doing those cheers. I know how long it takes to get the mounts together, whatever. I don't know all the lingo, so.
Yeah. No, it is, I would say it's pretty damn accurate.
Okay.
I mean, there were some things that I was like, I wish they would have done differently, but at the end of the day, it's reality TV. So, like, they got to get the story. They have to keep you enthralled and make you want to watch.
What would be something that you would have changed?
I feel like they should have followed maybe some of the straight boys on the team, because there are a ton of straight male cheerleaders, especially at the college level. And they have some of the most talented boys at Navarro. So I wish they would have done that aspect, just for the simple fact that we are, in comparison, a small industry, and we've been trying to figure out how do we grow our industry. And I feel like if you are a straight male and you watch this documentary, the only boys you saw were the very overly flamboyant gay black males.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's not completely inclusive of what we are in this industry. Now, like, I can't take away anything from those boys because they are still phenomenal. Love them all. And that is them 100% through and through. But I feel like they missed out on another aspect of
especially
the cheerleading component.
Because that's pretty much like almost like a stigma, right? That, like, if you cheer, if you do that, then you're automatically, considered gay. So I think I agree. I could see that point, a missed opportunity to really, stick it to that stigma and be like, actually, this is what it really looks like.
And I think the other thing, and again, this goes to, like, they want to keep you enticed in the show, was everybody who was highlighted kind of had a
story,
or not, like, a difficult background, because all the cheerleaders have a story,
right?
But I wish they would have shown more of the brighter side, of, like, there are kids in this sport who come from healthy homes. Like, not everybody has a broken background, and, like, there are parents who truly support their sons and daughters going to school to do this and giving everything they have for this sport. But I get, without the drama in the background of the story, are you going to keep people 5 viewing?
Episodes or 6, right?
That's
interesting. And then, so I guess Navarro, I had never heard of Navarro, and I lived in Dallas, and you would think I would have heard of this powerhouse school.
No. Unless, like, you are in the cheer world,
you won't know. Okay.
You don't know.
And so are they?
I mean,
so
no shade, but, like,
right? No shade, no tea. So there's different divisions of cheerleading, and I guess obviously there's just different divisions of colleges. So would, like, a Navarro be like a Division I school too? Are they that good, or
so
are they that good for that division?
I think it depends. Sometimes it depends on the year. They've had years where they are they go to nationals and they are the grand champ of the entire competition, meaning they outscored everybody, every division.
Got it.
And I would say that they are, when it comes to NCAA cheerleading, they are top notch. Like they can hang and outdo just about any and everybody. But there is so when it comes to college cheerleading and you're thinking about nationals, there are two the two most prestigious national competitions are UCA College Nationals, which is held in January down in Disney World, and then NCAA Nationals, which is held in April in Daytona Beach, and that's the circuit that Navarro competes. So Navarro competes along with Texas Tech, University of Louisville. Is it University? Michigan. The blue and gold. Is it University of Michigan?
Yeah,
University of Michigan competes.
Oh, you done made some people mad out there.
Look,
she got the colors right, though.
Right.
She got the colors right.
I got the colors. Okay.
Okay. Look.
And a plethora of other schools, and then UCA is UK, University of Central Florida, Indiana University, Purdue University.
So the size of the schools, because like I'm just thinking of just like football and basketball and things like that, where they have like Division I and then Division II.
Whatever your sports programs compete in, that's the division you have to compete in for cheer as well. So Division 1A, you have to have Division 1A football and basketball teams at your school. If you don't have a Division 1A football program, but you have a Division 1A basketball program, then you can compete Division 1.
Okay, got it. So did you cheer in college? I'm sorry, I'm just hogging all the questions. Yes. I'm just very curious about this world because, and the community, if you haven't watched this is Cheer that's on Netflix. It's a docu-series literally highlighting that cheer world. And my sister was a cheerleader, and so I kind of heard here and there, but it's a whole nother world that I'm like, how
Michigan
have I not heard about this?
Complete. I don't think anybody in the country understands how Michigan does cheer.
So
I'm gonna be honest.
Michigan's an anomaly. That's interesting. So did you?
Not to say they aren't talented, but the way their competitions are run for school cheerleading in Michigan.
Did you just shade Michigan?
Michigan shaded themselves this week.
Okay. Oh, you're right though. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But did you cheer in college?
I did.
Okay. So were you able to do those same kind of competitions and things like that?
Yes.
Okay.
So my first 2 years I competed at the national level. I mean, we went.
Hey, look, you were in the building, okay?
We was there.
And in that world too, so obviously you're a gay black man.
Mm-hmm.
And your comment about like Navarro, how they didn't show the straight side of it, is everyone pretty accepting then? Or is like a lot of the same issues, and I think I probably already know the answer, but do a lot of the same issues of racism and homophobia and things like that, is that prevalent in the cheer world? Or is it less than, because they just like, hey, all that matters is if you stick your routine, we got you, girl?
So when it comes to homophobia, that's not a thing really in our industry. One, because this industry is run by gay men.
Got it.
Yes.
Like, we are doing the music, the routines,
the lighting,
the uniforms, the lighting, like.
So like, you got your wig on?
Right,
you got your
down. We come to these kids. You find me a gym in the United States of America that don't have a gay man in it or around it. They're not gonna be they're not gonna be around long.
Got it.
Got it. So as far as that, no, it's very accepting. Like you come, as long as you have the skills to pay the bills, there's a place for you. Now, when it comes to race, we have our issues.
Speak on it.
Right.
So when Black people tend to like praise our own, you always get Karen over on the side. Well, why can't you say something about Sally Sue? Well, girl, because Sally Sue got 100 people over here telling her how good she is. So there's a group, there's a Facebook group, Instagram group, and their goal is to really uplift cheerleaders of color, not only Black cheerleaders, but the group is called Black Girls Cheer, the BGC. And it was started by a couple of moms whose daughters are exceptional athletes, like multiple time world championship winners. And they wanted to give a space for other parents of color to like praise their daughters and have some of the recognition. But you always get those people, oh, well, so white girls aren't allowed in this group. Not that they're not allowed, but you literally have every other group you can have. Right. Like, so we have those issues, and it causes some tension sometimes, but for the most part, race relations are okay. But
it's not a secret.
She went up an octave though, so I don't know about that.
And let's be clear. Let's be clear. I know that you obviously had a much more of a stake in that field, being in the field, but I mean, the reality of it is the questions being asked because we recognize it's an issue everywhere.
Oh, and absolutely.
So really, and I know that this isn't like not what you're saying, but just to put the pen in the paper, like we're talking about the issue of racism that exists in all forms of sports, and even Simone Biles has been talking about it at her level. So if it's still happening at the Olympic level, it has to be
absolutely
on a rampant basis.
And absolutely, and I think, and you get those. So my best friend, who also cheers with me, Harrison. A couple weeks ago, we had an issue.
Right.
So Twitter
like, let me watch my P's
everything.
and Q's.
Twitter exposes everything. But so back in the day, a few years ago, he made the comment that he needed to tan so that he could get Black.
Wait, your friend said that?
Yes.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
He needed to tan so he can get some Black?
No. I'm sure he could probably get that without being Black, but but yeah. So, but like you have like sometimes the fair-skinned cheerleaders in our industry will make comments like that do come off very racially insensitive, and like sometimes they like get offended that you're offended. And so, sometimes you just have to let them know.
That's not
sensitivity, man.
Like with the conversation I had with him, I was like, okay, your use of words, like, I know you're not racist. I know what you meant behind it.
Right.
But the words you used were not, like, you're not trying to get Black. Because I can tell you right now, if you walked out your house Black right now, you turn right back around and wish it off. Okay?
Okay. Right. You don't want it 24/7.
Not at all.
Sure can't.
Especially not in the neighborhood his parents live in.
That part.
But so I guess, it's just sometimes the language that kids tend to use, like they don't think about it before they put it out there, and when they get called on it, they just don't know how to react. And I'm like, you have to think about what it is you're saying before you say it sometimes.
Because the one thing I did notice watching Cheer, like there was a few scenes of like the younger kids.
The little girls.
Yeah, the little girls.
Yes. Ooh.
And it's just so interesting to me how prevalent Black queer lingo, like I don't know what to even call it. Like
they were calling her a queen. They're like, oh, yes, queen. She's like, a queen. I was like,
girl.
So it's just interesting that once again, it's, and like Dawon said, it's like everywhere in society. But once again, here's another high profile thing where the lingo of our community is appropriated and an everyday thing, but they still have this lack of sensitivity of racial dynamics.
And that's generational behavior, because that shit has been going on since we've been on this planet with them. They've been stealing from our culture, but then making us feel bad. Like that's the dynamic since we've been on this, on this continent. So that's not different.
And I wonder if they even know that they're, and honestly, little kids, a lot of times you don't even know what you're saying. You just see it on TV or whatever, and you just emulate it.
Or in your house.
And I think,
or in your house.
Especially with I can only speak about the kids in the cheer gyms that I'm a part of and have been in. Most of them want to, like, they idolize these people, like they idolize their coaches, they idolize the choreographers who are coming in, who are usually gay men, and a lot of them in this industry are gay Black men, and so they just want to emulate them, and they're not thinking about it, especially at that age. Right. So I think, like, in the gym setting, I don't think about it like it goes in one ear and out the other, and like you banter back and forth with them and have fun. But I do get the point of, look, girl, you don't know nothing about what you just said.
It was wild. And honestly, that was probably what stuck out the most to me in those scenes where I'm like, wow. And maybe honestly, that's why they dialed in on a Ladarius and a Jerry and things like that, because a lot of the culture, at least it seemed to me, the hypeness and the swag and the sass of it seems to come from communities of color within the queer world. And you said, it's the choreographer, they're the coaches and things like that. So that's probably where it's emulated coming from. I said what I said. And this is coming from a person that's not even in that world or that space, and it's right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's another sector that I didn't know much about at all, yet you see the same dynamics. And it's just like, man. And maybe it's a little naive of me to think that. It's just like, I know better, but it's just like, of any world, maybe that should be the world where it's maybe a little better, and it's not.
Oh no, not at all.
It's not. So I don't know. Okay, those were all my questions. I'm sorry, I hogged the whole questions.
Oh no, you're good.
No, that was good.
But anyway, so we're glad to have him on to provide kind of clarity of that world. And you said, I guess by the time this episode comes out, Worlds were supposed to be this past weekend?
Worlds is supposed to be this weekend. I'm actually supposed to be getting off of a plane right now in Disney World, which I will not be doing.
So you had so were you going to be coaching, or were you going to be performing?
Competing. This was going to be my final year as an athlete at Worlds.
Wow. So 2021 is going to be your final year.
Right.
She's thinking about whether her knees will be able to answer that question.
Well, it ain't my knees, girl.
I was gonna say, because I just saw her do a bike. She just did a back handspring yesterday, and I saw that on Instagram. So, damn.
Girl, these knees always got to be in shape.
Right. Like, these knees are always booked and ready.
I don't know. I've been competing for 20 years at this point. Oh, I'm good. 32 and proud.
Yeah.
So 20 years of doing this, I'm like, I think I've had my run. This isn't the way I wanted to end my season.
Yeah.
But
were you guys looking good? Were you guys going to win? Were you guys going to win it?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think we definitely had the talent to win, but our division was really talented, so it could have been anybody's game. It just whoever had the best day. So if we could have gone out and had 3 bomb performances this weekend, I think we definitely had a good chance of winning. I'd have been happy globing, being top 3 in the world. How many get to say that?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe I'll whisper in somebody's ear and hop back in a few weeks before Worlds next year.
There you go.
I don't know if I can do a whole season again, because it's demanding.
Yeah. Okay. So what's next then? If you're not gonna go back and do another season?
Oh, coaching. I'm just not doing a season as an athlete.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck. We'll figure it out. Let us know.
Yeah. That's if we open back up, because as of right now, I have no job because I'm a choreographer and a coach. We can't get in the gym, and I can't travel to go give you a routine if you're not competing.
Right.
True.
That Rona.
She better be gone. She getting an eviction notice, okay?
Right. Right. My Rona.
I've seen plenty of people get an eviction notice and not leave.
You know what? You ain't lied.
Remember that backhand spring she was talking about?
Look.
Cheers to that. Well, I think Tequila, you gonna stick around the whole episode with us?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
But then you know what's about to come up. Then you know you get to get hype with us real quick.
All right.
Okay, here we go. What time is it?
Ask your auntie.
Yes, man.
Oh, I graduated. I'm not a nephew no more.
You're not a nephew, right? Come on, nephew. You done graduated. Well, graduation canceled this year too, so we'll see.
That part.
Who has it up? I don't have it.
Oh, I didn't have it up. I had it.
I have it up right here.
Okay, Jerell, or Hennessy, I should say, has it.
All right. So the question is, here's a question for all of you to ask your aunties, or for the aunties. Do you and your mate agree? Nope. Actually, that's the wrong one.
I was going to say, did she rewrite that question?
That's the wrong one.
That's okay.
Hold on.
I can
I thought it was
paraphrase
58.
it. I can paraphrase it. It's the question about do bottoms or should bottoms get paid equally as tops, because currently they do not.
In the porn industry.
Yes.
And this was posed from Armin Rizzo.
Yes, correct.
Short answer, yes.
So the story is that Armin Rizzo claims that the studio Black Owned Boys was paying bottoms way less than they were paying tops, claiming that it was a top-driven website, and so that's why tops were getting paid more than the bottoms. But it still raises a question, though, like, does that matter? It doesn't matter, like, whether or not, who's coming to the website. Like, I'm putting in my fucking work. I'm clocking in. Like, bitch, you should pay me.
I'm actually surprised that the bottoms in these films are not getting paid more than the tops. Not just equal. Because when I really think about, like, who's doing the work and whose body is really getting abused in that situation, forget about the illusion. I'm just saying.
What kind of porn you watching?
I'm just saying.
Like, body's being abused over here. Come on now. You better spill all that tea, auntie. Come on.
Y'all know she was upset IML ain't going on no more.
For another topic. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, like, they are doing the majority of the work. And so I was surprised, shocked.
Shooketh. I agree with you, because let's be honest, we've seen some of the dangle that some of these men's is having these videos, and to get your whole blasted like that, pay me what you owe me, because
and usually it's like 2-on-1.
Girl.
On that site in particular.
Seriously.
Yes. And he's one of those bottoms that he's known to be that bottom to take the 9+ and then some. Like,
yes.
And he ain't nothing but like 3 inches. It's like this big,
but we're not talking about the penis size. We're talking about
he be taking fire extinguishers.
See, this is why y'all need to be watching the YouTube.
So exactly. So you can see all of it. You can't see the hand signals over here. The Rhythm Nation, penis sizing over here.
But I mean, honestly, if you're going to work, you want to be paid fairly. You don't want to be paid less than, and it's the same dynamic in corporate America. We find, just the race in that situation, and gender disequality. Is that a word? Inequality? But I didn't know that there was that big of a gap, no pun intended, between between tops and bottoms in porn, honestly. Like, I guess I never gave it thought. And I agree with Dawon. I would think a bottom would honestly get paid a little more because
you better get paid more.
They're getting
you can't just clock in as a bottom. I mean,
think about the prep work that's situation.
Needed. That's it. The prep work. That's what got me too. I'm like, girl, you got that diet. She hungry.
Clean out.
Look. And you know she hungry. She ain't ate nothing sustainable and a good minute, girl.
And a good minute.
Come on now, you better.
Every
stop
time she
playing.
drive past Chipotle, she break out in tears.
Right.
She's like, all I wanted was that Popeye sandwich.
Right. You know who wasn't fighting over one of them Popeye chicken sandwiches? Her.
All the bottoms in porn.
Okay, look.
But and honestly, we know what the issue is. It's not even about the work. It's about the masculinity part of it again, and the image again of bottoms being less than a person that is a top. And we see it outside of porn, just in our community, day in, day out, as it is.
Like bottom shaming. You still see people bottom shaming to this day. I'm like, oh, you're just a nasty, trifling little bottom. Like that's always like
without
the
a bottom, you couldn't be a top.
Fact. Absolutely. And that's the same thing I was saying. I was thinking about the whole report thing. Like, even if it's a top-driven website, guess what? Those tops won't look as attractive to you if they ain't got nobody to fuck. That's just called masturbation, bitch. No, that ain't how it works. No,
that's true. It's honestly true. So it's just like, I think he might have been a little scared to call it all the way what it is because he still wants to work in the industry. But it's honestly the toxic masculinity coming out again into just another form, another iteration. And what do we do to stop it? Do we stop going to these sites? Like, how do we help him get paid evenly?
I think the fact that this was even a conversation for an article to be put out there is a great start. Like, again, I would have thought that out of anyone, the bottoms would be paid more in porn. So like it's a complete shock to me, and I'm sure that there's tons of other people that feel a lot of the same way, but we wouldn't be having this conversation because no one even talks about pay disparity. We don't, you kind of know that, gay porn is more expensive than straight porn, which is why you have a lot of straight men, participating in gay porn because it's a lot more lucrative. But we don't know what that disparity looks like. Is it like, oh, instead of me getting $3,000 a day, I'm getting $3,100 a day? Right. It may add up over time, but I'm just saying, like, we don't know what that disparity is. And for this guy to bring this out, it actually fosters all these kinds of conversations. So I think the more that you talk about something, sometimes it's not an issue of like, let's cancel everything. Because let's face it, ain't nobody canceling porn anytime soon.
Not right now.
Especially not right now.
Right. They could have one video made available for the entire world and people will watch that shit.
Over and over.
Bank of America froze my accounts because I subscribed to a couple OnlyFans. They said, did you make these purchases?
Yes, I did. Absolutely.
Yes,
and who are you to judge me?
Right. Can you please open my account back up?
She said, I'm going to need you to watch a little less, okay? Okay.
Or she's like, or you can share your passwords with me.
Look.
Because them discounts right now, these OnlyFans discounts be getting.
Man, you see some pages for like $3. I'm like, I might take a peek. I might just take a peek, bitch.
Like, I was always curious what you look like.
What they say, for 10 cents a day, you can feed a hungry child.
Look, okay. I don't know, but shoot, Instagram's getting kind of raunchy though right now too, though.
So is.
Look, I done seen some.
Why Instagram supposed to be taking anything with the peach and the
that was a conversation. That was a conversation right before Corona.
Yeah. Girl, look.
Corona ruined everybody's plan.
No, she opened the world's eyes wide open. Said, this is what we need.
Yo, I didn't full out see fellatio on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Like,
girl.
And I ain't snitching on no handles because I ain't trying to get nobody. Look.
But you need to share those with me after this call is over.
Look, I sent you one. You got to go on the Minoritea Report DMs.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go in there. Check that out.
Ooh, Jesus. And it's so funny that, like, you sent it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I seen that. here's the thing. Hold on. Time out.
Oh, wait. No. Wait. I gotta clap back for you, too. I'm going to let you go first, but I got to clap back for you, too, bitch. You bet not, because it's going to be the same thing. I'm waiting.
I didn't even respond.
Because one of those videos you had already liked.
I did not even respond.
You had already liked.
So, and thank you for that Ask Your Aunties question, by the way. Thank you. Continue to send your Ask Your Auntie questions because we like that. Please stop the bottom shaming because we need to stop that in our culture, our community, because it has nothing to do with the person. It's literally about your ego and your masculinity issues that you still have not solved for yourself. Let's say that all the way right now. But anyway, on this podcast, it seems that Kerel somehow is starting to get this reputation of the quote-unquote nasty one. Don't know
Notice
if it's all
how
the way
she
real.
referred to herself in the third person.
Wait. Okay, right.
Not as sure if it's all the way real or not. It is what it is.
Come on, Madonna.
But here's what
I
I've
would
been
like to
noticing,
thank Jonas
though.
Auckland.
It's been a couple months now, though. Like, I have another friend that will send me random IG clips. And every time they send that they send them, and like I'm not following them, I'll click on the link, and it'll say, "I won't even say your handle if you don't want your handle."
You can say my handle because it's already
like, what is it? J stuff, whatever.
88.
Also, like this picture, I'm like, okay, whatever. Kerel's a nasty one, whatever. And so literally, this is over months now. And then there was one this week. I forget what it was. It was that Thick Boy.
It was Thickums. It was Thickums.
And literally click on it again. I'm like, oh yeah, he cute. Let me follow. Oh, J stuff has already liked it all the way back in October of 2019. I'm like, okay. And then today, I haven't even said this one yet. What's that entertainer or that guy that plays the keyboards and he usually has his shirt off and he's like,
Mark
get in my hole and whatever.
Mark Billette.
So today, like I saw a video pop up. I'm like, oh, okay, let me listen to it. And who commented like already? Dawon. And Dawon's comment was, oh, you got too many clothes on to be playing that piano. I'm like,
hold on.
Talking about me?
Hold on. First of all, let me rebuttal. Okay. So, first of all, the pictures that I be liking, community, do not be showing ass cheeks, okay? It'll be like men and some underwear.
Is that where you draw the line?
Okay?
Right. They got some clothes on, okay? It ain't straight nasty, okay? All right? The one that I saw that she had liked was Fellatio in the Sky. It was nasty, okay?
It was.
I was like...
But that's the way you sent the group, huh?
Yeah.
See, I missed all of this. I missed it all.
Because I knew I would have some support as I sent this out. I knew there would be one other person that would comment and not leave me on red and be like, I like that.
All that to say is, I don't care. Call me nasty. I own to my nastiness. But when I see my fellow aunties not own to their nastiness, live it out, girl.
No. You rubbing off on us. You rubbing off. Just how I learned how to have up to like 9 feelings last year. I have now been tainted. I am now
takes
a
nasty
bit.
to no nasty.
Look, I need to go to church again.
That is true. Say that again.
You know what? Grand closing.
But it was so funny because I was like, okay, I'm starting to get this reputation. Yeah, I see them liking the same damn pictures and commented that you need to take your shirt off.
Actually, okay, just to be clear, I don't be liking the pictures that y'all like. I might see them.
Hold on, wait.
But I don't like them.
But who sends the cloudy pictures though in our group? In our group one though.
That's a different story. Yeah. That's a different story.
Yeah. Look, I love it. I know when I open up our group chat and I see like the little foggy picture message on the phone, I already know you better open this shit up.
Right, real quick. It is so true.
But I sent y'all one last weekend though, and I was like, I'm gonna do what Dawon did, and I was like, here I go.
Seriously, because sometimes I'll see like text messages come through, and I'm like, okay, I gotta finish work or something, and I'll check it later. But if I see it come through with the foggy, I drop everything and defog that motherfucker.
Right.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about being in public and opening your phone no more.
Oh no, I do. Just not now. That Rona life got me at the crib.
Just not now.
But at work, be like, okay, you gotta look over your shoulder real quick.
Look.
Yeah, I had to turn my notifications off because I'm like, this stuff can't be coming on when I'm in a meeting.
Oh Lord. That is funny.
But that was smart though. I ain't never thought about doing something like that, Dawon. So that was real smart. I was like, oh, that's considerate. That's real considerate. You know, just being thoughtful.
That's the Chardonnay covering up the nasty.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Right.
It's demure. Isn't that what they call it? Demure, when you just cover up just a little. You can still see the outline. It's like those pins back in the day when you used to flip them upside down and the woman would be naked. It's like,
oh man, got me sweating from laughing. That's funny. That is funny. I don't even know where to go from here. My mind, I don't forgot about the rest of the episode.
Are we still talking about those racist teen TikToks?
Oh.
I'm still trying to figure this out. And it's not like the TikTok for me was expected. But what's interesting is, you know, especially the girl, she's come back out and like her rebuttals
don't ruin my life.
They're mind-boggling, really.
Like I have no words because, like you said, I wasn't surprised. Like we said, we see it all day, every day. We hear it all day, every day. But for you to be that dumb to put it on public, like she didn't even like put it on the private TikTok or anything like that. Like they just thought, I'm just gonna put this shit out there and go viral. She
wanted to go viral.
And then
she got her wish.
She got a wish. And then for her to say, "Oh, my boyfriend is racist."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing that killed me.
Racism took over me, and
please don't write my college because I still.
Somebody, I think Karen. You know, Karen.
Which one?
Helped her write that.
Several.
Because in the middle of it, she did two things. First of all, she threw her boyfriend under the bus.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So she ain't loyal for shit. There ain't no Bonnie and Clyde with this. I'm gonna ride with you. I'm gonna die with you. No, she's like, I'm throwing you under. I'm 60. What's his name? Tekashi 69.
Right.
I'm gonna do him.
She's snitching on everybody.
Everybody.
Within the very next sentence, she's calling us blacks. Like, what the hell is a blacks?
Right. Right. Like, I cannot.
And it's like,
you know what? In moments like that, we need to start, like, I don't think we should be coming at the kids. That is learned behavior. So at that point, I feel like the internet should be going after the parents. You know,
I think both.
and they should be shamed. Because one, well, I mean, depending on how the parenting is.
Well, I feel like they're going to be
shamed. Because I know if someone came at my mama talking about, like, oh, you a bad mama, blah, 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 my mama would have been pissed at them, and then would have turned around and been pissed at my ass and would have got my ass right together real quick. Right. You know, like.
But then you also would have known not to do that in the first place.
Right. But
you
like,
can
what
tell
I'm saying is, like.
You can tell that both these kids grew up in a house where they can close their bedroom door at will.
True.
And not be checked.
And not be checked.
But see, the thing is though, like when the internet comes for a child, a parent's reaction is to protect, not to discipline.
Absolutely.
They're probably more focused on making sure that their daughter is okay versus actually doing the discipline. Now, as if you would have came to the parent, I feel the parent would have been like, okay, you know what? Now I need to go and teach my child a lesson and really truly been able to do what a parent should be doing from the fucking get-go. But you know what? Not my circus, not my monkeys.
But it's interesting, the double standard, though, when, you know, like someone white does something that they shouldn't be doing, and then, you know, they apologize or fake apologize, and then all of a sudden now they got all this heat, and they're like, why can't you just forgive me? But they still crucify an OJ.
Look.
You know, like if a black person does something like Michael Vick, they're real quick.
But he did kill a person.
I mean...
A couple people.
Allegedly.
And he got off. So I mean,
as of the law, he is not guilty.
That is true. Mm-hmm. So he allegedly killed a couple people. So that's a whole nother level.
But at the end of the day, like what I'm saying is that if a black person does something wrong in this society or whatever, and they quote unquote apologize, and then people are still coming after them, they're going to keep crucifying them regardless of how much this person cried. There is like this, you know, like white girl cry syndrome that like makes it tries to make us feel like they're the victims in this, and they're not. You have
White
the choice
tears
of your
get
words.
all the empathy.
Not from this tree.
But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Homegirl definitely shouldn't have done what she fucking did. Period.
100%.
But again, as an adult, I can't. In my
But she
mind,
wouldn't have done it if she didn't feel comfortable.
I would not. But see, as an adult, I'm not gonna crucify no child. You know, I'm gonna go after the adult because, like, again, it's learned behavior.
But
if you ain't parenting,
I think they were 18.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're seniors, but I don't think they're legal yet.
Well, if you commit a crime, 16 is the cutoff for adulthood. So
that part.
Well, depending on the crime, because some of them are still considered a juvenile. You can be tried. You have to have a trial to be even convicted as adults when you're at that age. But first, you're convicted a juvenile first before tried as an adult.
Before we dive too deep into SVU,
okay, Benson.
He just shaded the shit out of all of us.
Okay, bitch.
We're not about to dissect criminal law over here. Let me pull out my degree. It's just indicative of like this behavior. And like, I get the whole idea of like somebody being young and making a mistake, but at the same time, part of consequences of mistakes is part of consequences of doing something you shouldn't have no business doing is dealing with the consequences. And I'm not advocating that people like give this person death threats and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, this person knows enough that they want to put something like this that is triggering, that is not moral, that in her own words, not, well, I forgot what she said because it's just a blur to me, but it's not up against her character, supposedly knowing all these things. And she puts this out there and not expect that people are going to treat it with the same kind of energy that she put her stuff out there. They want to go viral. So they want their comments to be the comments that are going to take people over the edge. Mm-hmm. It's the same game.
And I totally understand that. My point that I'm coming at though is from, and this is just like working with kids on a regular fucking basis. There's something about this young generation right now where they just feel this way, where they can do and say whatever the fuck they want to. And I feel like a part of that comes from a lot of parents, or maybe just like our generation, because the discipline was so rigid for us that like now the following generation is being a little bit lighter on these new kids. I can't tell you how many times I see kids call parents by their first fucking name, their government name. And I'm like, that's your damn mother.
Wait, to be clear, what kind of kids?
No. No, not even just white kids. I've seen POC kids do this too.
Oh, really?
Real talk. There's this generational thing where parents ain't getting in their ass like they got not ass back.
I can't even call, like, I'm 36 years old and I still can't call like my friends' parents growing up by their first name. It's like, hey, Miss whoever, hey, Mr. whoever. Like,
anyone working in schools right now would tell you, like, real talk, these kids today have this sense of I can do whatever the hell I want to and say without consequence. Entitled. They are very, very, very entitled, and it's disrespectful. And that's why I was like, I'm not taking away from there needs to be consequences from this child, but my point is there needs to be consequences for adults, because children would not be thinking that way if parents understood the consequences of their children's action. Getting their ass because they reflect on you. I remember my mom saying, don't take your ass to the store because you reflect this household when we in church or wherever the hell we go. I knew that I reflected my family, so I did not act.
Going off of that point, I think the other side of it is it's definitely a learned behavior, because I'm going to read the apology that she gave because it must reflect what she's learned.
Right, absolutely.
Because say I'm going to put this out to the world, or an apology to the world. If I had a parent that didn't teach me the shit I already did in this video, the terminology and the language would be completely different than this apology.
Right. I completely agree.
I want to apologize for this apparent video I posted. I know in my heart how wrong it was. My boyfriend is racist, and he slowly normalized his racism on me. Still, I should never have let him. I believe blacks are human too, made in the image of Christ. I have disappointed God, and I want to apologize. Please don't contact my college. It's my future, and one mistake should not ruin a life. Also, please stop with the death threats. Again, I apologize. So not
her
only
parents wrote that. Her parents wrote that damn thing. You know they did.
That
not
is the
only
worst
she's telling
I've ever heard in my entire life.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She's already telling us how to act, how to feel,
please don't,
and what to not do. So she's still demanding in this apology note to say, I can still do whatever I want, and I'm going to tell you how to feel and how to react. Like,
well, too late for that because she's
right.
not going
Learned
to school.
behavior. Like you said, learned behavior, and that's why I said take it straight to the head, which is the goddamn parents.
She's going to run up on the wrong black person or the wrong person.
Let's hope she can still get a job at Taco Bell.
Ooh. Well, I hope.
You know, she got certain privilege cards that she can use at any moment. So you know what?
Yeah, she might get a job at Chick-fil-A.
I can't with you.
That's assuming there's a justice system.
That's
a fair justice system.
That was a real ass answer, though.
For real.
That was a real ass answer. Oh man, but honestly, people with kids right now, I don't have kids. I know my parents were like on everything. They were everything. You need to be on these Snapchats. You need to be on these TikToks with a burner account. Be checking what your kid is doing because. Like, it is a mistake, quote unquote, and it can literally change the trajectory of your life.
Was it a mistake 100%. Or was it a choice? It wasn't
a mistake.
It was a choice. It was a damn choice. But yeah, you're right though. Like,
they
parents
did all
need
the preparation. They wrote all the words.
Right. I was
gonna say
piece
of the toilet paper.
You know she doesn't know what the word parent means.
Okay.
A mistake is placing the decimal in the wrong spot.
There we go. There we go. Seriously. Yeah. So that shows me right there that you're right. It was a learned behavior. It wasn't from her boyfriend.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to go to the parents.
That kind of apology come out if they truly cared or taught you better than that.
Yep.
What if she was like the mastermind of this whole thing? What if at the end of the day, she was really the mastermind and she tried to blow the smoke over to him because he was just following her lead?
It could be that too.
Would not be the first time.
The sex ain't that good. Like we say it all the time. The dick ain't that good. It ain't that good. They ruin your life like that? It ain't that good.
Well, you see, she didn't say nothing about him going to college.
He's a wrestler.
He was a wrestler.
He's a wrestler
here in Georgia.
He's a wrestler at a I don't know if it's like minor league wrestling or whatever that is, but it's
like you said, he was
because the wrestling thing, they actually banned him from coming back to their wrestling studio. And that's why I knew that and kicked him out of whatever group 18. He was in. The wrestling team kicked him out. So
that's how I know he was over 18. So he ain't a kid. He is not a kid. So check him all you want to, Jerell. Hennessy. Because
I'm still coming after the parents.
All the above. All the above. Because here it is 2020. And here's the thing. We need to check these people.
I'm sorry, the way you are pulling at this wig right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so mad. Like, look, y'all just don't know. I'm like, oh, girl.
I'm sitting up here trying to imagine what Thanksgiving gonna be like around these family houses. I bet their grandparents are gonna be up there like, that was a good video, I thought.
That tickety talk you doing? Show me how to do it.
You know, be like just oblivious. Like, I don't know what the big deal was.
I cannot. Blacks are human too. Bitch, bye.
Well, she did get one thing right.
What's that?
We are made in his image.
I know that's right. Come on now. Hallelujah.
Come on. Because Jesus was black. Come on, black
hallelujah.
Jesus.
Skin of bronze and hair of wool.
I know that's right.
Ow.
And my hair is extra woolly right now. I need a haircut. It's so bad.
Rona got it.
Actually, Physic hooked me up.
So I didn't put a relaxer
Physic hooks me up with a good old fade.
What you said, Jerell?
Physic hooked me up with a good old fade. She got a real ass fade.
Okay, now.
Okay.
That's better than the last one.
It's much better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he working on his practice.
She pulled it back so we could see her edges.
Right, look,
she said
that's when you know it's good.
Real good.
Mm-hmm. That's when you know it's good.
They're growing back real fast since that fire.
Good.
And then Tequila said she don't put a relaxer in hers.
You know, Corona got everybody out here doing something. I was stuck in the house and Went to Walmart and it was on sale for $3.97. I said, why not?
All right now.
Like in the words of Dawon, just for me.
Right, just
for me.
Now she pulled back in a ponytail.
That pink lotion.
Ooh, that pink
Luster's pink lotion.
It smells so good.
It does. It does.
I could never really use it because it was like too greasy for my hair, but I love the way that it smelled.
You got that good Indian hair.
Is that what they call it?
Where?
He shaded his own self.
I wasn't ready.
He said, where?
AunTea Chardonnay might be in a wine glass, but she'll cut any one of us.
Well, you need to cut my governor down here in Georgia because so we're recording on Thursday night this week. So by Monday, Georgia will be open. And
good luck.
I'm staying my black ass in the crib.
Can you tell your brothers and sisters that?
Why are people out there acting a fool too? But like, I can't wait to get my hair cut.
What?
Come through, Bub.
I'm just playing our community.
They really are
playing us.
Mm-hmm.
They know that we like to get our hair done. They know it. They know what they're doing, people, especially down here in Georgia. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
There's like feel like there's two social dynamics that are happening right now. One, for just Black people in general, I was listening to this podcast earlier, and Van Jones was on there talking about this concept that we as Black people at large are already dealing with so much. We're already dealing with barely making minimum wage or making a decent living, not having good, quality education, not having good quality housing, not having future prospects, not having like the finances to be able to get elective things done, let alone, major things done. So like this idea of so the first concept is Rona is just another thing. Yeah. If I'm already dealing with all this other kind of stuff, it don't make a difference because my outlook isn't going to be that different in a lot of the impoverished communities, which I thought was a really interesting.
That is an interesting take on that.
And then on the flip side of it, we are at a precipice where there's a lot of dialogue happening in the business sector about what's really happening economically. And the fact of the matter is that the people that are making the minimum wage, there's a mass realization that the people that are making the minimum wage are actually the ones that are running the country, not these CEOs that get billions and billions of dollars. And I just saw this clip on, I think it was Snoop Dogg's IG. He be posting them.
Snoop's IG is lit as hell.
He be shading everybody.
He does.
But it was just this idea that these corporations are they're so willing to put your lives at risk. Mm-hmm. Wait till they open. I think it said, wait till they open the golf courses and the tanning salons. Mm-hmm. That's when it's safe because they're so willing to sacrifice your ass. So this idea of these states being the first to be, open, they're sacrificing the Absolutely. Black and brown people.
And my barber, he be on it too. On his thing, he's I'm not opening. He's been doing house calls here and there, but he's been particular on what he's doing there. But he was he's don't let them play you, because he posted also the tanning salon thing and everything too. But he's just I see it. He's I know what the clientele is. He's I cut people's hair that are millionaires and this and that. They can afford to have people come in and do X, Y, Z. They can afford to have salons come to their house and do their hair for them. They can afford XYZ to come to their house. They don't have to leave their crib. He's so don't let them play you opening up the barber shops and the salons and things like that, because they know that you can't afford for people to come to you and to lower the risk. They know that you want to look good and this and that, and that that's how you sometimes spend your money. He's so please be aware, because he's this is my industry, and I cut celebrity hairs and I go to them. They're never coming to my shop where there's going to be dozens of people and things like that. So that's why I'm saying that here in Georgia, and when he didn't even converse with the mayor, it's just we didn't even know Atlanta was going to be opening up. So you see our mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms,
she said, y'all closed.
She said, no, we stand closed because, the governor didn't even talk to me about this. So
she said, I wish you would.
She did. She got that look on her face because she also knows that, especially in Georgia, the percentages of Black people that live in this state, specifically Atlanta, it's going to be higher Black people here. And it's going to affect us way more than it already is because we're already dying at a higher rate than everybody else. So it's so upsetting to me.
I will say Minnesota did start opening up their golf courses and allowed them to start going fishing and stuff like that last weekend. And I was very surprised. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's see how that goes. And everyone else was like, we staying closed.
I guess it's like, what are you going to get your hair and nails done for? Where are you going? The club ain't open. You not going back to work. And I love my people, I do. But they done got this stimulus check, and Lord knows we don't know how to hold on to money for nothing. Like, baby, y'all letting that little $1,200 burn a hole in these pockets.
Yeah.
And literally they start opening shit up right after. And then again, it's us helping the economy.
Yeah.
And now we're back in a horrible, I'm yelling right now. I don't know why, but I'm just so passionate about this because it's just like, it's so
and then
blatant.
they all gonna be doing GoFundMes when they got to make up all of this rent after this is over. Like, you went and got your hair done, so I don't know what to tell you.
And trust me, I want to get my hair cut so bad.
It'll be interesting though, because a lot of people are starting to realize that they're actually making more money with the stimulus than they were with their regular paychecks.
Yeah,
especially if this new bill goes through.
I've had so many people, but even just right now, with the extra $600 that everybody's getting, there are people that, my nephew is one, who was laid off because his work is, more manual labor or whatever. And he's like, I'm getting paid way more than what I was making at the job by sitting here doing nothing. I get to play my video games all day. So I think the tide will start to turn with a lot of these frontliners and refusing to go to work because of the health situation that's out there. But
that's what I'm waiting on. And I wouldn't be mad not one fucking bit if these healthcare workers start being like, fuck y'all, we out.
Honestly.
And force people to stay their ass at home. Because that's all you're doing right now is just risking them.
Yeah.
You're saying, I don't
working, 18 hours a day?
Right. You've been like, I don't care. That's your job, so you're going to do it. I'm going to do what I need to do, and guess what? You're going to do your job. Let bitches learn how to survive it for themselves out here, and you're going to see them start acting and singing a different tune real fucking quick. Oh, I ain't got nobody to take care of me. Oh, I just can't drag my ass to the hospital. If I'm sick, I gotta fix my own self.
I agree.
That's not going to impact as many Black and brown communities because we've been doing that ourselves already. So.
Come on, Jerell.
Right? We already know how to do our own hair. We already know how to do our own nails. We can take care of ourselves.
It's wild. It is so wild. And
community, if y'all listen, if y'all fortunate, if y'all live in a place where y'all your state's reopening, if you're fortunate enough to stay at home with your job, stay at home.
Please.
You'll thank us later because this shit ain't over. Like, there is no cure and there is no return to health protocol that's going to guarantee anybody to actually survive the coronavirus.
They're actually already talking about another wave of the virus hitting.
Yeah.
So what they're saying essentially is, what the latest reports are saying is that they want to get the amount of the virus controllable, kind of like the flu, so that you can return to work, but fully expect that there are going to be these ebbs and flows for however long until the next year to 2 years before an actual vaccine is created and approved.
Because if you look
there
at
are going to be ebbs and flows of this.
Absolutely. Because if you look at the Spanish flu, it was the second wave that killed like the 50 million people. The first wave killed only like a couple million. Then they thought, oh, we're good to go. Let's open the economy again. And literally it killed between 50 to 100 million people. Yes, technology and health has gotten a lot better in the last 100 years.
Ain't no excuse.
But don't think it's not gonna get your ass. Like literally, I was talking to my aunt last night, and just checking in on my uncle.
I was gonna say, is he doing better?
It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks since he's left the hospital, and she said he's still only at maybe 75%. Mm-hmm. That's how crazy this virus is. Like, it's been over a month since he's caught it.
Yeah.
And to this day, he is still only at 75%.
Yeah.
So don't let this shit fool you. Like, continue to wash your hands, continue to clean up after yourself. Like, don't get slack because Governor Kemp is like, oh, we're going to open. Like, how? We don't have testing. We don't like nothing has changed.
Don't let these people who got the money and the funds to take care of themselves get you caught up.
Exactly.
That's the quickest way you'll get caught up is following somebody else who be like, oh, bitch, I got a life. It's like Titanic. You know, they let the rich bitches off first, and they got the poor people trying to get the rest of the little boats that are like,
I got a quick hard left. Jerell, I'm looking at your picture, and like the string lights behind you remind me of like a filter. Like you have one of those filters that have the twinkling lights, you know?
Yeah.
So you're just like glowing right now.
Oh.
He's like, thank you, boo.
Well, I've also got the vanity lights on in front of me, too.
Yes.
We're on YouTube now. We are on YouTube, so get that lighting situation. And
Kerel, I think it was
something there too.
Kerel, that was a question I think you asked at the party.
What's that?
About, is there anything that you've bought during this quarantine? Like, have you, like, girl, I got this week.
What'd you get?
So I finally bought one of those like little vanity lights where you put your phone in the middle. I bought one of those.
Jerell, I literally bought one 2 days ago.
Oh,
did you really?
Yes, I did.
Yes. I bought mine 2 days ago too.
Yep.
I sure did.
I was on Amazon. I'm just like, you know what? This is not working. I need a little bit more light. Like face light.
That's the exact reason why I was thinking about getting it too, was because of this very moment, like when we're recording the podcast.
Well, I'm glad y'all have had time because I haven't had time to do anything other than buy fabric.
Oh yes,
well,
girl.
that's good. And for you guys to know, AunTea Tequila is making masks. You might get bombarded now for a mask, but no, that's awesome.
I sewed my finger to one last night.
See, that is not fun. That is not fun.
That needle went right through my finger. I said, "Oh,"
because you hear that little,
stop.
And then yeah.
No, that's why I don't sew.
Look, I've been so bored. I've been watching sewing videos on YouTube. Okay,
really?
It's a good skill to have. I used to have a sewing machine. I went to school for fashion design,
right?
You know, so like understanding how to like make patterns and like how to put together clothes and all that kind of stuff was just part of that.
Sewing since I was 6.
Yeah, and I had a sewing machine up until like maybe, I want to say like 8 years ago, and I just been lugging it around from place to place, state to state, and I'm like, I'm never gonna this. It's got to go now.
That's why I left mine at my mama's house. Mine's is at my mama's house. But like I've gotten really good at just hand sewing. But like I've been watching on YouTube or different type of stitching now. And different knots, because I was like, well, I might as well learn something else, like versus the quick stitch, that I know to get.
Sign up. What you need knots for?
Girl, because she be blowing out pans, girl. Look, come on now, don't look.
You need to get that
that's one good thing about
telling y'all.
That's the one thing about the Rona though. Like this sweatpant life.
It's amazing.
Look,
it's incredible.
Great.
Yeah. I literally have jeans on today for the first time, maybe since.
This is my first collar, and it don't even have a collar. This is my first non-collared shirt.
Like I'm trying to think, have I worn jeans? Oh, I think I wore jeans one other time that I can recall. Yeah. Other than that, it's been literally shorts or sweatpants.
I will put on jeans every time I leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just something that my mama taught me. She's like, you just never know. You just always got to stay ready. So whenever I leave the house, I put on jeans. And
y'all already saw what I wore to the track the other day. So
girl,
look.
No, you still
okay.
You
know what? Look, you lying. Come on now.
You lying.
We saw that photo with you and your man doing y'all little photo shoot in front of y'all bomb ass mirror over there.
Right.
Look at our
got the cut off gloves on.
Okay.
Got the Tom Ford glasses. Like, girl, you lying.
Got the beanie on.
I sure did go to the gym dressed like that, or the track dressed like that. Now I didn't say I ran around the track.
He just went
He sashayed around the track.
I walked and took conference calls. That's all I did. And Adam's on the
Naomi Campbell, walk. Naomi Campbell, walk.
Look, literally that.
Let me show you these bundles.
Seriously. Dawon be GQ'd going to the track.
Girl.
Listen, I mean, the only chance I get out of the house is to go around the track, which honestly, the track where we live, there's like maybe 4 other people that's out there when we're generally out there. So there's lots of social distancing. So you're not around a lot of people, which is great. Mm-hmm. But the only time I get out of the house is go to the supermarket or go to the track. And I'm not dressing up to go to the supermarket. So you got to do a little something.
You're not?
No.
He can't help what he has in his closet.
I might throw in a leather jacket or a kimono, but you know.
Look, I just want people to know, look, Rona ain't beating my ass, okay? Look, she fighting back, bitch.
She said, I am putting on this product and calling it good.
And I live above a grocery store, too. So, look, y'all, I ain't even that far. I'm over here.
Adam and I took a $30 Uber to go to Trader Joe's this week.
Did you really? That's funny. That is funny. Did you guys watch Teddy versus Babyface? Were you able to get into the room?
I don't think anybody was able to watch
I was in there early.
I bet you were first in line, too.
Girl, it was like, at that point, maybe only like 2,000 people, and it got up to 511,000 people.
Yeah,
and they said,
and y'all all went home mad.
No, well, yeah, kind of. And they said 3.7 million people tried to get in and out of that, and it broke IG Live.
Mm-hmm.
It broke IG because, like, towards the end of it, like they got to song. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, on IG, Timbaland, who produced a lot of Missy stuff, Justin Timberlake stuff, Jay-Z stuff, Swiss Beats from the Rough Riders stuff, and Jay-Z and all this stuff. These 2 mega producers have put on a new kind of show called Versus on IG. And what they do is pair up mega producers, mega writers, mega stars against each other and say, okay, give me your best 20 songs, and here go my best 20 songs, and we're going to go head-to-head for the culture. It's not trying to beat you, even though you're trying to beat them, but just elevating the culture and giving us something to do in quarantine. So there's been like Lil Jon against T-Pain. There was Timbaland versus Swiss Beats. There was, I'm trying to remember all of them now. There's been quite a few, but last weekend was the big one. It was Babyface versus Teddy Riley. And so originally they tried to do it a few days before, and it was like your old uncles not knowing how to work technology.
But you know what I heard happened is that because Teddy Riley was also streaming to his own website, the view from his website was perfect. It was the integration and the stream to IG that was messed up.
And then he tried to put on like a show, so he had like mics and keyboards and DJ, and I'm like, hold on, you got people in and out of the studio. Aren't you supposed to be social distancing?
That part right there. That part right there. Because I was surprised to see how many people that were just walking around and doing stuff in the background. Like,
that's why you can't take us nowhere.
Right?
I can't imagine they all live in your compound, Teddy Riley.
Right. Come on now. So anyway, so that night didn't go well.
7 over there. She got all the neighbors over.
And meanwhile, it's only Babyface in the studio. Babyface cool, calm, and collected. And so that didn't go well the first time. So they were like, okay, we're going to postpone it. And so they postponed it like 3 nights later. And it went for the most part okay. Teddy was still having some issues. And then what threw him was Babyface busts out his guitar. And I think that's what threw Teddy. And after that, he was upset that he wasn't able to play his keyboard. And 4 or 5 songs later, his Wi-Fi was starting to act up. And then he just dropped off. Then he got back on. And he magically had a keyboard. But then people couldn't get back in. Even Babyface couldn't get back in. And that was the end of it. So he ruined it for everyone. But it was cool to see these titans. It's cool to see our culture change what IG Live is. Because literally they made IG change some of their parameters from getting kicked off after an hour to getting kicked off after 4 hours. So they were working with IG to kind of hopefully get as many people in there. But the protocol, just you can't get that many people on IG Live. It wasn't set up to do that. So now they're saying potentially the next one might be Dr. Dre against Puff Daddy. It's a little East Coast, West Coast thing again.
Oh, well, Dr. Dre wins that one all day long.
I don't know. Diddy got some hits, though.
It's going to fight.
Diddy got some hits. Fight. And honestly, it's about what you pair up. Because, like, you might think, oh, he got more hits. Even with the Teddy Riley Babyface. Babyface should have wiped him off this earth. But it's just the way the song you play at the time.
Yeah.
You know? And if you set up and if
it.
you play this song and the culture's like, but no, you did this song. We like that song better than this song right now. You won that round. So it's literally how you pair your songs up, which makes it even more intriguing because you're like, oh, damn, Babyface, you shouldn't have played that song. You should have played this song against you know?
Right.
And everybody's like, celebrities are in these rooms commenting. Like, Michelle Obama was in it one night. Missy Elliott. Like, it's crazy and it's awesome. And it literally gets your mind off Corona for 2 hours. And it's incredible. So we'll see what goes on. I know Hezekiah Walker versus John P. Key was supposed to happen, I guess, by the time this episode yesterday. So we'll see. Even the gospel world getting into it. So it was cool. And I was like a little kid in a candy store because that's right up my alley. Right up my alley. But what else do you watch? I know, Dawon, you've been watching a lot of TV. What you watching right now?
Well, I finished already Black as Fuck.
What you think about it?
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was different than what I was expecting it was going to be. It's drier than what I thought it was going to be. And it's very meta, you know, like there is a self-awareness part without like, I love how he breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience, but without doing that, you know, like there's a scene where he's, Kenya Paris is watching an episode of not Grownish, Blackish. And he goes, this is a damn good show. It's just like those little like moments that just like,
it's like, we know that's your show.
It's a different kind of layer, different kind of layer.
It's kind of like a Black Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
It's
dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a different kind of humor for us because, you know, we in your face, we cracking jokes and snapping necks, you know, and this was like, when you see how the husband and wife talk to each other, like, you're a terrible human being. You're a terrible father. Like, but, you know, it's not like malice behind it. It's just deadpan.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a little dry for my taste. Like, dry humor just isn't really my thing. Like Curb Your Enthusiasm, like all those kind of shows. Just
you like yours nice and wet.
Yeah.
She like the Martins. She don't like the It's Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, but for real, no, it was. I mean, it was cute. Like I watched it, like I want to say 3 episodes, and then I was like, I gotta cook, and I just never went back to it. But you know, I'm gonna watch it for the culture. I think I think there's still some good perspective to it, you know, and just seeing just another side of like a type of Black family, you know, like all Black families aren't just this one type, you know, we come in different types and different sizes and et cetera, like that too. So, you know, and then also just like, even again, the whole point, like, damn, you're still successful and there's still racism even at the highest level, you know, like even in the first episode, we was talking about the white gays, you know, and at first I was like,
G-A-Z-E.
Yes, G-A-Z-E.
Not the gays that we talk about.
Not the gays. We be talking, because when I first heard, I was like, he was white gay? Is he gay? you know, and then I was like, oh, he's Jewish. And I was like, wait, but is he gay? And I was like, oh, gays, like, you know, looking at someone. I was like, oh, okay. You know, so, I mean, it had its moments, but.
Baby, when they were at the dinner with her old schoolmates.
Oh, girl.
Yes.
Oh, see, I haven't seen, like, I saw the first 2 episodes.
This was good. This was like 3 or 4.
Okay.
They let them have
They weren't ready. They weren't
Oh, wait,
ready.
yes, no, I saw that. What, is that the, oh, I don't want to
When
get
the
it.
They went to dinner. They just went to dinner with the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
They were talking about camping and going to a festival.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She said, oh, what were you telling me about your small house with no electricity?
Oh, we're just downsizing, you know, for the planet. Like trying to like shade them because, you know, they're doing all this eco stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that.
But see, for that very reason, that's why I really appreciate this kind of show, because it actually shows a different kind of Black humor. Because like this humor, like Issa Rae's, and I know we'll talk about Insecure here in a bit, but like Issa Rae's humor is a little bit different. You know, she started out with awkward black girl, you know, so there is that.
Who took my fucking stapler? I fucking still laugh at that.
But like the cool thing I do enjoy about it so far, that it's still very about the culture though.
Yes.
Like, even though it's a different humor about us, it's still making sure that you know that they're black AF.
Yeah.
You know?
There is an episode that I think that if you guys will give it a shot and get up to it, there's an episode where they it's the barbecue episode where they go to see a movie and you know the lead character is asked to be a panel and representing that movie. Okay. And so it's just Tyler Perry's in it. Like there's real references to people that are in the industry right now. They have like a Zoom call with like Issa Rae and like all these like, you know, black you know, producers and whatnot. It's really interesting on taste, like the black take on taste.
Right. Have you noticed the titles of the episodes? Have you like literally the first episode is called "It's About Slavery," and then the second episode is called "This is About Slavery 2," and then the third one's like, "Oh, guess what? This one's also about slavery." Like all the episodes are titled saying this is about slavery.
It's like it's the episode title, and then it has, you know, like a little statement, and it says why, because ... slavery. Every single episode.
So that's why I do want to watch the rest of them, because that alone cracks me the hell up.
You won't be disappointed. I think for me, it was just jarring watching like the first couple of episodes because it was drier. Like it was a very deadpan humor. I wasn't expecting that. But then after I got over that, I really started pouring myself into the characters and understanding who they were and what those storylines were. And it just made it that much more enjoyable. So, yeah.
Well, there's that. There's obviously Insecure. I know your homeboy Ryan Murphy has a new series coming out called Hollywood. So we'll see if Dawon watches that. Because
I actually kind of want to see it.
Girl, I feel like your ass almost got stuck in the back of your head.
Hashtag blame Ryan Murphy. And if you're a new community member, go back to a couple of our older episodes where we talk about Pose and just hear Dawon's hate. Maybe hate's a strong word.
No, it's accurate.
Oh, okay.
She said that real quick.
I'm gonna give you
Brian Murphy.
The Claire Huxtable rage.
Rage.
So anything that Ryan Murphy does, Dawon is not about it. It took us forever to convince him about Pose, which he ultimately ended up enjoying. So it's funny.
I think the problem for me is I'm not into musicals at all. So if you got like music in it, it's like it's a turn off generally. So my first introduction to him was, you know, what's that show? High School Musical or whatever.
Glee.
That.
You said High School Musical.
Don't try them.
And so like my next introduction to him was through American Horror Story. And what I loved about American Horror Story was the rich storytelling, character development, and you know the whole cinematography of it. Like the plots were really great. I'm sorry, not the plots. Everything else was pretty good except for
what happened.
But then by episode number 8, like it's like he throws all these things in the kitchen sink into like the blender. You know, so like think about season number 1 where they were supposed to be living in that house, right?
Of what? American Horror Story. I never watched it.
You never watched it? Okay. All that to say, he does that with all of his shows. So like after about the 5th season, I'm like, he hooks you in with thinking it's going to be good, and then he fucks it all up.
He doesn't know how to finish. No. He is not good at finishing. Okay.
And his rhythm is off.
Finisher.
So that right. And poking in the wrong areas.
That is true. That there is nothing worse than just the rhythm being off.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible. And so he's done some good things that I've enjoyed. I did enjoy what's the one with the two the old ladies, Bette Midler and and what's her face? It was a Hollywood feud. That's what it was. Feud. It was called Feud. Yep. That was really good. OJ was really, really good. And I feel like because those were things that were based on reality, you can't really mess that up too much.
It has a finishing point for him.
It had a script and a plot line. But like with everything else that he touches, it just goes haywire.
And what else is coming out? Oh,
Legendary. Oh, I can't wait to see that. That's about
That's
the ballroom scene,
yes.
and it's an actual competition. You seen a couple judges on there. I'm like, okay, all right, this is gonna be
Megan Thee
cute.
Stallion, that's a come up.
Yeah.
Those
Megan
are coins.
Thee Stallion is like out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are coins.
That's
Gonna,
interesting. How
that's
she got
gonna be
on this
really good.
And it's on HBO Max, so it costs a coin. So that's another streaming service if you don't have HBO that you're gonna have to pay for.
If you do have AT&T and you have HBO through AT&T, you'll actually get it automatically. And if you have another streaming service that does that, and you also have HBO, they're just figuring out what that structure is going to look like.
I think they released it this week. It's pretty much if you have anything AT&T, you're good to go.
Yeah, because I saw it already.
I read an article yesterday that said that for others that aren't, they're figuring out what they can do. So their customers.
AT&T don't give a damn. AT&T don't give a damn.
They'll come first to market for everything.
Right?
They were first with the iPhone.
But they better be careful though, because they lost 900,000 followers
I saw that
this year or something, or like the last few months.
That's true. Because they began fed up with AT&T.
Yeah,
right.
They
shiesty.
Yeah, they
money hungry.
They are
allegedly. In case y'all want to sponsor
us. Allegedly, exactly. But you can sponsor us if you want to. I know that's right, Dawon. But yeah, Legendary's one that's coming out.
But back to Insecure though.
Insecure is it right now.
Y'all.
It.
Okay. How do we feel about Molly?
Everyone's got that one friend though. Everyone has that one friend or has gone through an instance of a Molly-esque person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like it's a very real thing.
It's a very real thing.
And I'm kind of glad they did it. I'm glad it's not all roses on this show,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like even if you had a best friend, there's gonna be times where you might not see eye to eye, and that's reality. So I'm enjoying the story arc.
I got a Molly. Just moved out of my apartment because of that Molly.
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
And there's the tea.
Right, that sounds like some tea. What you willing to share?
So what happened was, yes, we could.
Yes, come on, go ahead.
Put a pin right there and Insecure.
And
there.
Yes,
right. So
there's room for everyone.
So your Molly situation.
So
what happened?
Well, they don't listen to the podcast, so I can tell it all.
Oh, okay then.
Spill the tea.
I'm sitting back then.
So Saturday was this last Friday. Okay. So last Friday, we're at the apartment having a good time, just me and my roommates hanging out. Now, two of my roommates are in a relationship together. One of those is my best friend, Harrison.
Is that a woman, a man? Are they two men?
Well, I wouldn't say men. They're they're boys.
I can't.
Legally, you would think, but no. That mindset is that of a child.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. It's like
but anyway, so
we're reading with you. Like, come on. Yes.
This was the same day. Like we were tumbling outside. Had a good night. Like later that night, I guess somebody on Snapchat messaged my friend Harrison that his boyfriend was sending him nudes. So so Harrison confronts his whatever you want to call him. Yeah. Confronts him in their bathroom. He then storms out of the house. Harrison goes chasing after him. A half hour later, Harrison comes back in, bawling, physically disheveled. They got into a physical altercation out in the parking lot.
Oh, Lord.
The cops were called. Said boyfriend went to jail.
Well,
the one that was supposedly sending the nudes to somebody over Snapchat.
So I was like, okay, we'll get it taken care of. Call his parents. They know, give them all the information so they know where he's at. They can handle it. So we finished watching the movie. He cried, like
y'all wait. Y'all went to watch the movie after all this?
Right. No, girl, in the living room. We was watching a movie in the living room, honey.
Look, I told you she went to. I told you she went down to spend time with some Carol Baskin in Florida. Right. She done picked up some tricks.
Right. She said, "Okay, and on to the movie."
Right. So we're tried to comfort him for the rest of the night. Go to bed, girl. I wake up in the morning. He is gone, nowhere to be found. I am okay. So I have to run to the post office to mail some stuff out. I see him sitting in his car with said boyfriend.
The one that was in jail.
He done went and got him out of jail.
He bailed him out.
He says he didn't bail him out, but I was like, So I come back. He sends all these text messages about, please don't say anything to him. He already feels bad enough. Like he had to spend the night in jail, as he should have.
Right. Consequences.
And if it was messing with me, he'd still be there.
Or might not have made it.
Huh.
You're right. He wouldn't have went to jail because maybe.
Right.
She already know how to tumble. She could tussle too.
So all that happens. So this is Saturday. They finally come back into the apartment. Boyfriend barricades himself in the room.
Just send some more nudes.
Right. Me and Harrison, on the few occasions Harrison comes out of the room, have some conversations. I'm heated because I'm like, are you serious? Like, we just gonna act like none of last night happened. No, that's not what I'm doing. I just wanted to give everybody a couple of days for everything to cool off. No, so what you wanted was, in a couple of days, for everybody to forget what had happened so that y'all could go back to pretending like everything is copacetic.
Okay, now.
Like, let's be real. Right. And he was like, no. I mean, he was like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay. We don't have to talk about it anymore. So a couple hours later, he comes out, sits next to me as I'm on the sewing machine, just looking at me. I'm like,
this story's
good.
Thing that he's spinning.
Right.
I was like, yes. Like, is something you want to say? Well, I just want to make sure everything's okay. I'm fine. How are you? He was like, well, I don't want him to go. I said, well, that's fine. I said, you need to make a decision on what you want. Don't do what you think I want you to do. You do what you want to do. I said, but either he's going to live here or I'm going to live here. One of us got to go.
Yeah, that's self-preservation right there.
Yeah.
Because this is my best friend. I'm not gonna sit here and watch you be abused. Like, y'all whole relationship from the jump has been off from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been telling you since day one. But you know what? You are a grown-ass man, so I'm gonna let you do you until it starts to affect my mental stability.
Yeah.
And it was like, the police have already been called to this apartment once. The next time, it's because they are hauling somebody away for murder. So either he gonna die or I'm gonna die.
And it ain't gonna be me. Wow.
So I was like, you don't want neither one of us to go, but somebody got to go. Well, I don't want him to have to leave. All right. Well, you made your decision. You don't want him to have to leave. Yeah. I'll be out tomorrow. Well, what do you mean you'll be out? You gonna leave that quick? Am I supposed to wait? No. Bye. I packed a bag or two. Deuces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Molly friend for real.
Right.
Don't know what the hell they want. Confused and then some.
And it just shows that he doesn't have the self-worth for himself.
No, like I told him, like, I can't care for you more than you care for yourself. Like, it is eating away at me and my mental. I can put up with a lot of things, but dysfunction, it ain't one.
Yeah, I know that's right. That's a whole ask your aunties right there. And I think that's the answer I think I would have given. Like, I would have had to go on too. I especially at the age I'm at now, I can't deal with dysfunction. I just don't got the time nor the energy.
Maybe if you would have caught me in my 20s,
right?
I could have slept on it and been like, I mean, okay, I'm too old. I got too many things going.
I also think that you know what self-worth looks like, and you know what quality looks like, and you can see the warning signs. So if you're a person who's like not in the relationship and you don't have these blinders on and all you see is the love that's in front of you and you're refusing to see all the shit that's breaking down outside of you, that's on you, but you're not even in that. So you're making a choice for you. And I get that, you know, part of it is like you don't want to be there watching this, your one of your best friends, like, you know, deteriorate in front of your eyes, but at the same point in time, is I'm sure there's got to be, you know, some self-preservation in there.
Especially during the Rona.
Take the wig off, Jerell?
During your conversation?
Your story, she said, hold on, let me take this wig off.
I just look over and you was bald.
Auntie Tequila said, let me grab my sewing machine and get my ass up out of here. Wow. Well, damn, that's better than the episode of Insecure.
Yeah. No, I mean, that episode was still good, though.
It was good.
I liked it a lot. But you know what, though? I think Issa and Homegirl going to have some issues because, you know, at the end when she called Lawrence, she's like, should I say something? No, should I not? And he's like, oh, no, don't say nothing. It's cool.
Yeah.
She knew right then and there that friend, it's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna be a
thing. And that's gonna come to bite her. And that sucks because I like seeing new friendships blossom and seeing, you know, people come to trust each other. But I also get though, like that's her ex at the same time. But at the same time, she can't be loyal to her ex. Like y'all ain't friends, y'all ain't hanging out. Like this is the person that you're trying to actually have in your life. So I would have been like, well, look, I'm not trying to be the jealous ex or anything of the sort like that. I like our friendship. Here's what was said. Go with what you is.
Mm-hmm.
That's me personally.
Yeah.
You can't let your ex-D take your life. He's an ex for a reason. Move on, girl.
I like that this episode felt more like they're setting up the whole season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like they're putting the characters. It's like the pawns making their first move. You know,
you
like
none
they
have a couple extra episodes because other seasons they didn't have time to be able to do that.
Yeah, there's 10 episodes instead of 8, I think. But they really took their time to make you ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
What's going on with Molly? What's going on with Molly and Issa? What's going on with Molly and Asian Bae? Like, what's really
we almost saw those cheeks. I was like, we were just talking about it on the episode, and we almost saw those cheeks. I was like,
yeah. Give it to next week. You'll see it all.
I was like, God damn.
We got to see other cheeks though.
We got to see a whole move. TSA, babe. We just got to see a condom coming out her
that part, I was not ready.
I was like, did they?
I was really not ready. They're hitting us with the real.
They literally hit us with the splatter.
She's like, I'm so disappointed.
And she was looking for a long time in that bathroom.
And she was like, I'm so disappointed.
I was like,
we did it. She celebrated. She was like, we good. I was like, oh God.
All the way done. All the way done. They always get you with one or two little moments during the season where you're like, did that just happen? Oh my God. They can show that. Then it's like, it's HBO.
Yeah.
So no, Insecure is still in peak form to me. Like I don't feel like it's sliding.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the writing has suffered, and it might be because they had a year and a half. It's still the show to watch. Oh.
Yeah, it's so freaking good. I just hope she don't play us again and do some year and a half shit again. Like I can't. Like you can give it back to us.
I mean,
she was just
we're in the Rona now.
Exactly.
They would have been shooting right now for next year, or at least started shooting.
She was just on Amanda Seals's, who plays Tiffany, podcast this week, and they were talking about it. They're like, you guys are supposed to be coming up to the writer's room again. She's like, are you still creative right now? She's like, no. She's like, this Rona has kind of just messed up a lot of the flow of things.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, we'll see what happens. But all of Hollywood right now is messed up, you know? So it's going to be interesting where the content comes. It's going to be the IGs of the world. It's going to be the TikToks of the world to see who comes out of Rona succeeding, honestly, and getting new TV shows when things do calm down.
They're gonna start pulling them old things.
Right?
They're gonna start pulling them old things that they put in the vault that wasn't ready for TV because it's the only kind of new content they got.
Seriously,
we can't be watching reruns between now and next September. Not this September, next September.
That's why I'm thinking this IG Live. You could come up with creative content where you literally have people on their phones watching the new shit that you're putting out each week. It could be
they had the Saturday Night Live. Last week they did a live, basically like a Zoom version of Saturday Night Live, and it was their highest rated episode ever.
Because everybody's chilling at the crib, you know. So I mean, the talk shows are on Zoom now. Like it's just
which I don't mind. Like The View and stuff is like that, but like I'm also thinking about like some of these other shows, like that are competitions, like The Voice and
American
Idol and stuff like they're going to be doing all that stuff, you know, like on Zoom and stuff like that as well too.
They're doing the reunion of the Housewives on Zoom right now. Like I saw Andy Cohen's IG.
So it's just like I'm curious to see how some of this stuff like pans out, because production to shows like that matter. You know, and kind of like the SNL. Like I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm hopefully it's out there somewhere where I can, but I'd be curious to see how that went, because that can really set the tone for a lot of these other shows that are live, to kind of set a standard as far as this is where we are now, this is how we can make it better. Because you guys are right. I mean, like, we're going to have to figure out, or excuse me, they're going to have to figure out how to keep putting this stuff out there if they want their checks. Because guess what? If that stuff ain't coming out, guess who ain't getting paid? They ain't.
And the hairstylist, the makeup artist, the cameraman, the janitorial staff, like it's a ripple. It really
we're gonna have like, we're gonna enter the year of the cartoons. Like everything we're gonna be watching is gonna be those manga cartoons.
Because we're gonna be back on Boomerang.
Because all they have to do is voice over the work, and then they just draw the cartoons to draw the drama.
Well, guess what? You can watch us on YouTube now, though. And there you go. There's some content for you right there, bitch.
Yes,
a good almost what? We're at an hour 50 right now, so we're almost going to wrap it up. So there you go. Almost 2 hours of your day. You can watch us live and all our shenanigans and facial expressions and wig reveals and and everything. So subscribe. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your uncle, tell your mammy. I don't know what else is doing there.
Has anybody else picked up? I know we started talking about this, but I feel like I've entered like a new phase of like the quarantine where like I'm actually starting to buy stuff. Like I'm buying a lot more than what I was, because I'm realizing that we're going to be here for a while. So I didn't purchase like a bunch of equipment, you know, like workout equipment, and I bought a new painting for the house. Just like
I would like to say I bought some workout equipment, but that would be a lie.
I can't find that. Everything is like sold out around here.
Yeah. I bought a jump rope before it kind of went crazy, because I was like, okay, at least that's something I can foresee myself continuously doing. I haven't done it yet.
You doing double dutch?
No, right? No, but just get a little cardio in.
Wait, did you get jump ropes or did you get phone cords? Which one?
They were out of phone cords. They didn't even have phone cords. So let me actually get a jump rope. But no, I agree. I find myself, there's certain sites that are having sales now, like Banana Republic and Ted Baker. But now I'm like, where am I going? Ain't nobody seeing me wear shit.
That's why I've been buying stuff for the house. I've been like, you know what? We're going to be here for a minute. So I might as well just make sure, you know, Adam bought himself a couple of dumbbells, you know, so that he can get some weights going on.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at a lot of like home decor, looking at fabric samples for like reupholstering my sofa. I'm just like, I just need things to do.
I know.
No, not her. She bought some clothes because, like Kerel said, you know, you see some deals on there. And like, you know, when we are able to go out, when the time is right, she's stepping out purse first, bitch.
It's like, I'm back, bitch. By popular demand.
Look.
I know that's right. But well, AunTea Tequila, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, come on, setting the bar. Yes.
Spilling the cheer world.
Look, have me snatching off my wig. She had me taking off my wig, okay?
She said, I did not come to play with you hoes. She said, I brought the tea myself.
So did. And community, if we ask you to be on the show or you want to be on the show, let us know. But you got to come up with your auntie name. You got to come up with a drink name.
And tequila is taken.
Tequila is taken.
It's a wrap. And we're not doing doubles.
Exactly. Gotta get creative out here. So, but subscribe, download, share. We're available wherever you stream services, and we're also on YouTube. The link is in our bio on IG. So if you can't find it when you type it in, go to IG, click on the link. It'll take you right to YouTube. And I think that's it. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.